Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about one specific uniform that we got from the new batch of 5, and that is Sharon Rogers' Starlight armor. Now, I know from the video a couple of days ago I did already cover the fact that I think this is a very good uniform. I've still gotten a lot of questions about it. I still see a lot of talk about this and a lot of questions and also a lot of hype. So I wanted to cover it more in depth. I was asked by several fans both in the comment section of the videos and on the live chat, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to go through this and really detail for you guys what makes this uniform so fantastic. So for starters, as a foundation, this uniform is going on a fantastic character. You know, if Daredevil gets a new uniform, if Gamora gets a new uniform, if Star-Lord gets a new uniform, it's still going on a base character who is not very strong to begin with. However, Sharon Rogers was once the top tier character and actually was the best character until Doctor Strange came along and knocked her off. But she still remained a very powerful character in the meta. She introduced the concept of burst DPS, of one-shotting characters from full health to 0 in timeline and PvP modes. And so for her to get a uniform is very symbolically important. For 2, the uniform is important because it boosts up the stats of one of the most powerful characters in the game. You may not understand this, but Doctor Strange would be a lot more vulnerable if his uniform didn't offer him the extra bonuses that it does. The heal is actually incredibly important. The reflect is so-so, but those additional 20% all defense actually does help buttress a character who is quite fragile when he's out of his invulnerability. Sharon Rogers is not a fragile character. She's one of the tankiest blast characters, if not the tankiest blast character in the game to begin with. This uniform offers her a palpable 20% all attack, all defense once you upgrade it up to Mythic, which of course takes a lot of resources, but it is definitely worth it. On top of that, you then get to augment her stats with things like extra skill cooldown, so you don't have to use Agent 13 as a team up. Extra ignore defense, extra attack speed if you need that, extra energy damage or energy attack and all attack. So it really boosts the character up to new heights. But the most important and the most pronounced feature of this uniform are the massive skill changes that it offers to the character. She still keeps her her third skill, Energy Beam, which gives her that 5 seconds of immunity, which is super crucial. That doesn't change, but as you can see here, all of the animations change, and 2 animations in particular change tremendously for the better. Paladin Blast, her new 4th skill, is still an iframe, although it's a delayed iframe. She first does some ground hits and then she jumps into the air, where she then becomes immune to damage because of the iframe, and she deals an insane amount of damage. This is a huge burst skill. You can one-shot Dormammu, you can one-shot my neighbors, you can one-shot so many characters in timeline, Thanos for example. But I think the more important skill here for Sharon Rogers is her 5th skill, Freedom Strike. The only thing that Sharon Rogers was really missing from her original skill set was a very reliable crowd control skill. Her 5th skill does have a stun on it, but because of the way the skill animates, the stun is actually folded into the rest of the attack. So she pierces the enemy, they get stunned, she keeps piercing them, and then she jumps up and she comes down. That whole animation encompasses the stun, so you really don't get to use that stun while you're using other skills. You can't stun them and then cancel into other skills because you're losing all that damage. Not so with her new 5th skill. Sharon Rogers' new 5th skill, Freedom Strike, actually actively stuns the opponent. It's like a mini guard break. It's like a stun lock. It's like Proxima's bubble in the world boss stage, that orange orb that kind of orbits around her and zips around in the 2nd and 3rd phases. That's exactly what Freedom Strike is. This wreaks havoc on characters of all types and sizes, from Agent Venom or Space Knight Venom or whatever his name is to Baby Groot. This is one of the most powerful skills in the game now. This is like Singularity's 3rd star skill on steroids, okay? If you guys remember way back in the day, and if you don't, this is a little bit of a Marvel Future Fight history lesson. When Singularity was introduced, she was one of the most powerful characters for Battleworld because her supernova ability, which creates a black hole that kind of sucks everyone in, was fantastic for crowd controlling the enemy. And it would basically bunch everyone up together, the 2 enemies you're facing in Battleworld, and you would get easy kills. Freedom Strike is that move, but 10 times more powerful. The damage alone of this skill is great, not to mention its crowd control power. This makes Sharon Rogers one of the most dangerous characters in the game to face, even if you're playing on manual in timeline. You cannot escape the stun of this ability. There is no obelisk for it. You can basically just take the hits or iframe, but you may be interrupted so many times that you actually don't get to iframe before you die. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to touch upon for this uniform is its potential for Extreme Alliance Battle, because this has been getting a lot of buzz in the community, and I wanted to touch on it both from my personal perspective and then what I'm seeing other people report. So personally, I tried it out on the live stream with Sharon Rogers and Agent Coulson and She-Hulk as the leadership, which is the typical team for Doctor Strange in this game mode. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of success getting a high score, but I did see the potential because her 5th skill that we talked about, Freedom Strike, is a very large AoE and it pulls the enemies in, so it groups together all of those robot mobs to kill them quickly and get to the next wave. And her 4th skill does insane damage to the Frost Beast. That is undeniably true, as long as you don't miss the skill, because sometimes it can miss. There's a bit of an RNG factor to it, kind of like Yellow Jacket's 5th skill. As long as you don't miss, it does tremendous damage and it racks up your score. And now for the community's take on it, guys. I've been seeing Reddit post after Reddit reply, and I've seen tons of people in the live stream chat reporting scores of 400,000, 500,000, 700,000, 770,000. It's safe to say that Sharon Rogers, well built at tier 2 with the right cards, can probably out DPS Doctor Strange for no restriction day. That's unprecedented. I have to give it to her. That's fantastic. That's amazing. She's probably going to become the #1 character for the unrestricted Alliance Battle Extreme Day with She-Hulk leadership and Phil Coulson specifically. There's just one problem, or there's just one caveat to that, and before you go running out to buy the uniform for that specifically, please remember there's one more day where Doctor Strange shines, and that's in round 5, where he plays the Blast Male Day. Sharon Rogers is not available for that day because, of course, she's a female. The only thing the uniform didn't do for her is make her a male typing. Now, I think that is significant because Netmarble could have done that. It wouldn't look nice because Sharon Rogers, of course, is a woman, so it wouldn't look cool to change her to a man, and it would feel kind of cheap to make her then the dominating force behind 2 Alliance Battle days. But I think this is a clear move by them to try and separate the pack a little bit more, to say, okay, Doctor Strange was good for 2 days, now he's only going to be good for 1 of those days. And now, instead of being able to double dip on one singular character, we have to develop an even bigger roster by adding an extra, link in this chain. So I do think they did that deliberately, and I do think that it's working in spectacular fashion. We haven't even gotten through, a couple of weeks of testing. This is brand new material. These are brand new Sharon Rogerses who are not even max build. Maybe they're missing Urus, maybe they're missing a mythic uniform, compared to Doctor Strange, who people have been perfecting for months. Guys, think about that. And she's already outperforming her. She's probably going to be able to hit north of 800,000 with the right setups in the right hands after months and months of retries and practice. Now, with that practice comes her skill rotation, and that's what I wanted to talk about next, guys, because that's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, she's so hard to use, I don't understand her skill set, oh, it doesn't make any sense, she sucks now. So, putting to bed the rumors that she sucks, obviously this uniform is a must-buy. If you have Sharon Rogers at all built up, if you have her at 6 stars, you need this uniform. It's a beast. I don't even have her at tier 2, and I already have her uniform at heroic, guys. I'm actually thinking of tier 2ing my Sharon Rogers because of the uniform. Think about that for a second. Now, as far as her skill rotation goes, it's actually not that difficult, and with some coaching from the live chat, I got it right after a couple of tries. You open with her 3rd skill, Energy Beam. You allow the skill to do its natural damage, which it does after an initial break, just like she does with her non-uniform version. Then you rotate into her 5th skill. After you see the ball appear, you rotate into her 4th skill. You let that skill animate all the way until she comes back down, and then you do her first and her second skill, but you cancel them because they both have jumps at the beginning or movement abilities at the beginning that allow them to be partial iframes. They're not necessarily iframes, you can get hit, but there's a lot of movement involved, kind of like Star-Lord's third skill, so it's very difficult to be hit while you're using them, almost like Carnage's first skill in Extreme Alliance Battle. So if you do that rotation 3, 5, 4, and those are 3 skills to completion, and then canceling the 2 and the 1 after the initial movement. The 2, I believe, has a jump and the 1 has a strafe, or the other way around. You will have what's, you know, being regarded as the optimal rotation for Sharon Rogers. And then of course you would repeat back into the 3. Now of course by the end of the 4th skill, when you land, you will not have immunity anymore, and that's why you do need to rely on the partial movement / iframes of 2 and 1 to kind of juggle those last few seconds before you can use her 3rd skill again. This obviously forces you to have max skill cooldown. It obviously forces you to have a very high technical gameplay, but that is what Sharon Rogers had to have with her original uniform. There was always that jump on her 2nd skill, I believe, and we kind of ignored her 1st skill because it had no iframe, but it was the same. It was 3, 5, 4, 2. 3, 5, 4, 2. This is slightly different. It's 3, 5, 4, 2, 1, or 1, 2, and they're both canceled. So it's really not that difficult once you get it down, and the results are tantalizing, guys. She's one-shotting bosses, she's killing Thanos in under 10 seconds in World Boss, and she's outscoring Doctor Strange in Extreme Alliance Battle. And the reason why I think the Extreme Alliance Battle especially is so important is because it's much easier to build up Sharon Rogers at the beginning of your playthrough if you're starting out new in the game, fresh, than it is to get Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange takes so many Chaos Nordstones, so much Black Antimatter, so much gold. He takes all these other characters, Clea, Satana, Hellstorm, to be leveled up and ranked up, that you'll be months into your gameplay before you can finally start using Doctor Strange. By that time, you can have a fully built Sharon Rogers with a uniform, tier 2, with some Urus maybe, or maybe at least with a heroic uniform. That in and of itself is a huge reason to invest in this uniform. I don't want to seem like a shill, guys, but I want to put to bed the question or the rumors of whether or not this is the ultimate uniform of this patch. This is arguably one of the best uniforms in the game because it takes a character who is meta and practically creates a new meta around them. I would not be surprised if Alliance Tournaments and Alliance Conquest suddenly, or not so suddenly, but starts to develop around this new Starlight armor and that insane bubble, that vortex of nightmares that Freedom Strike creates. So let me know what you guys think of Sharon Rogers' new uniform. Let me know what you guys think of the skill rotation, if you're getting it down, if you're getting higher scores in Extreme Alliance Battle or not, and whether or not you think I should tier 2 Sharon Rogers. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow and on the live stream. Take care.